Welcome to DC.
And here it comes. Swing and a miss. And a World Series Game 7 winning Curly W is in the books.
Dagger! It's 1974. The Washington Capitals are the 2018 Stanley Cup champions.
Don't like that. I like that.
You gotta like that, right?
Despite all this, despite the churn, my approval ratings keep going up.
We are ready to give our 500% support back to this franchise, back to this city, back to this team after Snyder leaves. And then this is the poo-poo you put on the field.
For the very first time, the Washington Mystics are WNBA champions.
The Washington Commanders select Jaden Daniels.
I'm going to support fake teams that can't ruin my life.
Did you call bank? I call game.
Thank you. Sorry to keep you waiting. Complicated business.
Well, FP, the show must go on, sir. The show must go on, and it was painful to watch literally from start to finish. See you're enjoying an adult beverage. I will be doing the same very soon. But here we are. The stinky Commanders have now continued to just drop games in. That's 3 in basically a week and a half. It's very tough. You lose to the Steelers in a game that you could have won. You lose to the Eagles in a game that you luck boxed your way into keeping it close for 3 quarters. And then it just came apart, and Saquon does what he just always does now. And then on Sunday, I'm going to try to keep my emotions in check. We're about 24 hours removed from the game at this point, 25, 26 hours removed from the game. I started to consume media, do what I do, like on Mondays. I really enjoy local media and whatever, but I couldn't do it because I watched every second of that game. And because of the way the schedule's aligned, FP, like I had Red Zone up on my second screen, and Red Zone's always like a play ahead of the actual TV. Like, I don't know how that works.
In your world, yes.
I felt I actually like
in cable world, that's not the case.
Well, I watched the game twice, right? Yeah. Like in real time, because I'm watching on Red Zone and then I look up and I'm watching on the big screen. So like it just hurt, and we'll get into it here, but I felt gross afterwards. I felt like, and honestly, I have no one to blame but myself, because if you told me at the beginning of the season you'd be 7-5, I would have said fine, great. But now 7-5 feels, it's just bad. And I'll give you 2 things here to start, and we'll get into, I'd like to get your reaction and go into it. But I'm out on Cliff. You can't be running the ball every possession on first and second down. I'm out. And I might be out on Dan Quinn also, and I'll tell you why. It could just be the raw emotion of just the way they played and they looked, and dropping a game. It wasn't even a trap game. The Cowboys aren't even trying anymore. But DQ, do you know what he started when he took over for the Falcons? Do you know what his record was to start the season?
It was very Ron Rivera-esque.
5-0. It was 5-0 to start that season.
Oh, never mind.
I can't do it, man. And now we got oh God, this game missed. I mean, you start the game horribly from an offensive perspective. Then they go out and they get a blocked. What was it? They shanked the field goal. They block a punt. Like, they're doing all this stuff. How can you not manage more than 3 points? How is this possible, FP? It sucks. Everything sucks. This team sucks. I might be out on sports too. It's just, it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling how in the span of 3 games, we have regressed not just to the mean, but to a bottom third team offensively. I mean, do you disagree with me?
No.
There's zero creativity in this offense right now. And it sucks, man. It sucks because we were so high just 4 weeks ago.
It's the emotion after that game. First of all, I don't even know where to start. The emotion after that game.
There's nowhere to start because it was so terrible.
It's so hard for me to know what to feel because, yeah, we're 7-5. We're not supposed to be 7-5. We're not supposed to be good. There's supposed to be all that crap. I don't even want to say it. It like sickens me to say the same
It
stuff that we were
sucks.
saying in a positive light 3 weeks ago. It just sucks. But like, this is a hard line to toe because I want to be the Joe of it, and I want to say I'm out on everybody, blow it up. But obviously,
Yes, embrace.
obviously that's not
Embrace.
the answer, right? Obviously that's not the answer. And I understand you intellectually don't want to blow it all up and you want the continuity. But on the other side of it, it's the effing Cowboys and Cooper Rush and no run game and the 32nd ranked rush defense, and we couldn't do
Mhm.
jack shit. Put the E on the episode. I'm a curse. We couldn't do anything against this shell of a team that like even like they're losing games and recording music videos directly after it last week. Like nobody in that locker room for Dallas gave a shit about
They
Dallas.
gave up on their coach. They gave up on their running game. They gave up on their quarterback, who has a mysterious hamstring injury that's going to cost them a season.
Yeah, that's caught
Cooper Rush
saying
looked
we effing suck on memes. Like it's just the way. Like I almost wish we lost without the theatrics. Like I wish we just got our asses handed to us and we lost 27 to 10 or 27-3, and it was just to close the book and move on. But it's the effing theatrics and the magic that comes out of Jaden Daniels too little too late.
Oh,
After 3.5
hold
on.
Oh,
This
God.
isn't going to be
can't-
positive.
I
No,
can't
this
do
isn't
for
going
an
to be.
hour.
It's not going to be positive. Why the F did we not use Jaden Daniels the way we should have used Jaden Daniels for 3.5 quarters? And then suddenly, you push Cliff decided to call different plays, decided to look at somebody besides Noah Brown, decided to move Terry finally
That's
from
your
the
guy.
left to the
That's
right.
your guy.
Hey.
You go in timeout with him. He
No.
can't.
Listen,
Shit. He sucks.
Noah Brown did great. He shouldn't be
Did
the only
great.
one.
He's
shouldn't
got
be
balls
the only
hitting
one.
his helmet. He's got balls hitting his chest. He's got balls hitting his hand.
Stop saying balls to me. Stop saying balls to me. He shouldn't be the one getting 15 targets a game. That is not his role. That was never his role. We figured it out in week 3 against the Bengals to effing move Terry McLaurin from the left to the right. And all week after that Bengals game, hey, you finally clicked to Terry. What changed? Oh, I said I like to be lined up on the right sometimes. Boom, you get your win, and then the offense clicks. And then somehow, I don't know, maybe Cliff has concussion protocol. He forgets to move Terry or put him in motion or do anything. He's been sitting on the left for the last year and a half. Listen, my point is this offense was anemic and couldn't do anything against the shell of a team until it was time for the theatrics. And then suddenly, and this is my apologies to Jaden Daniels. This is me telling him the entire coaching staff and the O-line and the team around you let you down because you are passing efficiently and accurately and hitting your stupid Noah Brown receivers in the effing hands, right? You are doing everything you need to do. You're scrambling. You're healed up. You're ready to go. But the team crumbled around you. The team just died around
Are you giving Daniels a pass?
Did you watch Daniels? Every pass that was dropped was accurate. Every pass that was dropped was accurate.
Balls like crazy.
No, every pass he made was accurate.
No. They had a red zone trip in the second quarter. He missed Ertz by you and I could have gone out there and thrown that ball. Ertz would have scored a touchdown in the second quarter.
If you want to nitpick on 2 passes that entire game,
it's not nitpicking.
No.
He is a rookie quarterback.
You do not put this loss on Jaden Daniels. You do not put this loss on Jaden Daniels.
I'm not putting it all on Jaden Daniels, but he doesn't get a pass.
You don't put any of it on Jaden Daniels.
What? Of course. I'm sorry. When they win, he gets all the credit, and when they lose, he gets none of the blame.
This game was not on Jaden Daniels.
You don't think
there's
no audible? He can't kill a play. How many draw plays on second and long you want to run?
The O-line couldn't block a freaking squirrel. Nobody could do anything.
I'm actually surprised that you're not being a little bit more critical of Jaden here.
It's not on Jaden. It's not. Go back and rewatch that game. It is not on Jaden Daniels. The O-line couldn't do shit. The running backs died. Cliff Kingsbury decided to use Bates instead of Sinnott and Noah Brown instead of literally anybody else.
Bates fumbling. Ertz had one of those.
All of it was trash, but not Jaden Daniels. He was not the trash on the field. Dan Quinn was trash.
If Stevie was
Joe
in
Witt
here,
was
you know
trash.
exactly what he'd be saying, right?
The O-line was trash.
Stevie would be saying that JD5 stat line is padded based on a miraculous 89-yard touchdown to Terry and whatever.
I'm not talking stat line. I'm talking eye test. Jaden Daniels was not the problem Sunday against the Dallas Cowboys. Well, I'm not saying Pittsburgh and Philly, he was a problem. Sunday against Dallas Cowboys, Jaden Daniels was not the problem.
Seibert was a bigger problem, right? If
Seibert was a huge
your kicker
problem.
who has a hip issue isn't 100%, maybe you don't roll him out there. And I'm not putting that on Seibert. These guys are players and they want to play.
Maybe if you see that he has problems during the game,
would you have gone for two? I'm curious.
100%.
I'm honestly torn on this one because I believe the right call was to go for the PAT. I believe it.
No. Did you again? Jaden Daniels, not his fault. Game's not on him. Do you see how easily he got that 2 point?
Yeah.
You see how easily your best player on the field got that 2 point conversion?
I don't think anything was easy. I don't think anything was easy.
2 point conversion.
I think you would have.
That 2 point conversion came in very easy.
Okay, but they were also maybe they were hyped. I mean, but look, if they go for two and they don't get it, everyone's killing DQ. For you just take the points basically. I mean, the clock management. I mean, look, if we're gonna look for some silver, I tried to convince myself to find some positives here. Right, we're talking about losing to three teams, two of which are good. I'll just say good teams, right? One is potentially a great team in the Eagles. It's three losses by a total of 17 points, right? Like but they just haven't felt like they were close games. But that's the reality. If you're gonna look at, okay, JD5 a positive, sure, okay, he did some good things yesterday. Zach Ertz continues to be a reliable downfield pass catcher.
He never can get yak.
I know you do, but you look at this game. Let's just focus on this one game, right? And I hate this question, but it's worth asking. Like, did Washington lose this or did Dallas win it? Because
Washington lost easily, hands down.
Washington lost it.
Dallas kept giving us reasons to. Dallas did not want to win that game.
Yeah, they didn't want to win.
They did it by accident.
Yes, you give up. They gave up a zero. What was that? A zero look from a defensive perspective. A busted coverage play. They score. That's how they got one of their blank on the
fake tight end.
Crazy. The crazy last name tight end. He gets a touchdown on a basically on a. That's a bad play, but you look at this and you're just like, ugh, like that first quarter, like anytime you start a game like that against any opponent, like you got to find a way to get some points. And Brian Robinson goes down with an injury early in the game, FP. Like, why the insistence on, I mean, I just don't understand it. There's many
Don't
things.
even get me started on that.
From a roster management perspective, why would you drop C-Rod? Like you need the bruising running back. Like you continue to run Eckler like a ping pong ball, and listen, I will never cheer for any player on any team to get injured. I will never cheer. Like I will. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like I felt terrible for him taking a shot the way he did at the end of the game on basically a meaningless play. He's. I mean, it's highly probable he will not play again this season. Like he has a history of concussion.
If Tua can still go. Anybody can.
Oh, it's a different position, man. Like he's different position. They're running him out there all the time. Like I feel terrible for him, right? But
it was
should have put him in the spot.
Even the C-Rod hit, like all preseason, start of the season, everybody's talking about hip drop tackles. That was the clearest hip drop tackle I've ever seen on B-Rob. And just, the refs just I don't even want to talk about the refs. They weren't even the problem in that game.
No, they weren't.
Well,
looking at the
team from the top. Let's just rewind from the top. Sunday morning, before Sunday, for the franchise to say like, go to the legend of the game or whatever.
I was waiting for this one.
Freaking trash. Okay,
it's not a legend of the game.
And he's wearing like an orange suit with a cowboy hat because he has ties to Texas and Baylor, and then Just get RG3 out of the history books of effing
Away
Washington.
from the team. They need to oh my
From
God.
the start.
It was 12 years ago. He had one great season 12 years ago.
And then you bring and like it was Joe Gibbs' birthday,
God.
and he's there, and then you're telling me James comes in to watch the
funny
team.
that this is coming from you because you're all about like the change of the culture and the culture and the culture and whatever. And
the change of the culture does not mean keep sucking off the last two big names of your old franchise and trotting them out every time you need a jolt. I can't.
It was RG. Every time I see his face pop up on X and it's
freaking deep throat.
This is a safe space. Let's talk about. I have muted his account more than any other. Like all the fake like fight video things that always pop up. Like I can't tell you how many of those I've muted. I've muted RG3 more. There is not a single account person I have muted more on social media that I don't want to see his face. I don't want to hear him opine on anything. Like I can take him when he's talking football, but when he's talking about the Washington franchise,
yes, 100% agree.
Because
you are not in touch with this fan base.
We have been listening to him for years. Remember when Snyder was getting accused of stuff? I'm gonna write a book. I didn't forget about that RG3.
Yeah.
You're a liar. I don't want to hear about it. I just don't want to hear about it.
I don't want him around this
controversies about his kids. This, just stay away from my team and from me. Like,
yes,
honestly, there's not a single person I try to not consume media from more than him.
But that's what I'm saying. Just everything.
I'd rather watch endless loops of The View and all of Stevie's girls on The View talking about whatever nonsense they're talking about. I don't want to see RG3. He's not a legend of the team. It's actually embarrassing to hold him in higher regard.
Yes, because we have
not an expansion team.
Amazing legends.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the Commanders are an expansion team, but he didn't play for the Commanders, right? But as a Redskin, he doesn't crack the top 5-6 quarterbacks ever. What are we talking about?
Yeah,
it's actually extremely embarrassing. But
it is.
All that aside, like, were you more defense or offense? Which one let you down more? Special teams, I think, is a given. I mean, to miss PATs and field goals, and the Cowboys. You said it perfectly. The Cowboys didn't want to win. If you kick an onside kick and and you recover it, and the other team has no timeouts or a way to stop the clock, you don't score in that position.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
They did not want to win.
No.
They were embracing the tank.
While they were all doing the end zone and pictures, and McCarthy's on the sideline. Like, what are we doing here? Like, just fall over.
He's yelling at his special teams coach.
Yeah, and the special teams dummy was jumping up and down too because they don't understand clock management. But you look at this. So leave special teams aside here. Offense or defense? Which one disappointed you more?
I'm going defense.
Yeah, I am too. Offense, we know on offense. I'll tell you why, and I'd like to get your opinion on this. But on offense that you've got one studly playmaker, one, and you didn't get him the ball. But you haven't gotten him the ball basically all season, right? There's been very few games where Terry just goes off, dominates.
4 for 100, 4 for under 20.
But defensively, you've been punching above your weight class. You've been managing much better teams and keeping it close. Like you're like they were okay. They were okay. Yeah, they had a busted play. Okay, Lattimore eventually will come. Okay, to lose like this in this spot against this quarterback and this team on your field, it's not even a debate.
Unacceptable. To get no sacks on Cooper Rush,
almost no pressure,
out and said, "I am not a running quarterback."
And why are you? They do not have an actual running back on the roster. Like, this team is dead freaking last in rushing. And I think they had a total of 2 tackles for loss yesterday. Just think about that. 2. They got Saquon for 4 by himself.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nuts. If special teams, I don't know who sent this question, and I'm blanking on it right now, but if special teams was an option, I'd say special teams, because you can't miss that many field goals and then get juked out by a guy on the 5-yard line doing a pirouette, then a mad dash to the end zone.
Up until I'll give you this for special teams. Up until the return. Special teams was playing fine. Kicking was bad.
Yes.
You got to separate the two.
Yeah, but
because
maybe
that special teams unit,
if your guy's got a busted hip, you don't put him out there.
Yeah, that's a coaching thing, right? But special teams unit was really good up until that return. And honestly, like Revo felt terrible about it, and Revo doesn't usually make that mistake, and you can almost forgive him for it. But the kicking was abysmal.
Yeah.
And you should have known before Sunday if he was 100% or not. And it's just annoying that this is like a question that we keep dealing with regardless of who the player is, of can he go or not? Is B-Rob hurt or not? Is Jaden Daniels hurt or not? Is Seibert hurt or not?
How much of this is just coming and coming late buy, like the late buy? This
a lot of it
had this like mini buy,
Yes, but the big, like the significant injuries where somebody's missing the previous game, and then it comes to the next week, is he hurt or not? Like there's too much song and dance happening here. Just if he's hurt, keep it and that's what happened at the very start of the season, right? If he's hurt, we're going to keep him out. That's what we did with B-Rob against the Ravens.
Yep.
Everyone was like, great, good job. We don't bullshit us. Say he's hurt, keep him out. And then again, the coaching, and listen, I've been high on the coaching staff. You've hated how high I've been on the coaching staff, but this Sunday, there's no excuse for them. I'm not going to give them a pass. They were terrible. Dan Quinn was terrible. You should have gone for it on 4th and 2. You should have gone for it for the 2-point conversion. You got to believe in your team. You got to ride the momentum after that Terry touchdown and just pound it in and win the game. And you almost coached scared. And it's like you coached knowing that your offense wasn't clicking. And I get it from a head coach perspective, but also you got to look at the field to play. You have to see what's happening that day, and you have to be like, this is the one chance to let's just end it and get this dub and leave. And he didn't coach that because Dan Campbell doesn't not go for 2. And the Lions are insanity right now.
I think if you go for 2,
Sirianni doesn't not go for 2.
If you go for 2 and you get it, you likely win the game because the opportunity. I mean, Cooper Rush coming back in 3 seconds is just not going to happen, right? I mean, I hate to say that being on the other side of it, just a month ago, but that's the reality, right? Like if you're just looking at it from a numbers perspective, but if you don't get it on the 2, obviously you get killed, But Campbell, sorry, not Campbell. Quinn could have stood up there and said, based on how the game was playing, like rolling out, we're just riding the emotional high. We went for it, right? And I think people may have been pissed.
The fan base would have accepted it.
I think so too, but it's a given that you make your point, your extra points.
Not when you saw what Seibert was doing that entire game.
Sure.
Not when you he wasn't flawless the whole game before.
Yeah, I mean, that now that we're talking about it a little bit more, like why would you have any faith in your offense being able to replicate that touchdown to Terry? Because it was, let's be honest, it's a busted play. That's 100%. What it was.
Yeah.
Right. The Cowboys were in super prevent. It was a soft zone.
They didn't know how to push him out of bounds.
And he turned on the Jets and he scored, right? But the chance of you doing that twice or even on a getting the ball to start overtime. Like there was nothing to indicate your team was going to be able to get positive yards, first downs, and get into position.
Overtime should not have been on his mind.
Yeah, I mean, as we're talking about it, I'm with you now. Like you got to go for it. You got to go for it. You got to go for the win and just survive.
You just have to look at some of these teams, and it's the Lions, and it's annoyingly the Eagles, and it's probably one of the Harbaughs playing tonight. You coach not aggressively, but you coach to win, right? And some of these decisions that come down to it, like when Ron would do this nonsense, he was always doing the wrong thing, right?
Yes.
Every single time. Not going for 2 every single time when he should have gone for 2. And his excuse was they were tired. I wanted to go for 1.
No, listen.
Break. Like that's trash.
Yes.
But Dan Quinn, it makes sense, but at the same time, it didn't because it's like he wasn't watching the same game we were.
But they did manage the clock appropriately down the stretch, kicking the long field goal on 2nd down or whatever it was, right? Like just get the points, try to recover. Like, okay, but at the same time, like we said it last week, like you had to win this game convincingly. We
were talking about winning by 45. Putting a Lions versus Jags ass whooping for the entire country to see. This was the game of the week for the entire country. Coverage was East Coast to West Coast, except for like the Great Lake area where they only care about Chicago, Green Bay, and Detroit.
Sure.
The entire country was watching this. America's team showed out. And
Poo-poo on the
just,
field. You said it perfectly in the
crap.
open.
Yeah.
Yep. They put poo-poo on the field. Yeah, maybe I should go back to fake teams, but you nailed it. I mean, yes, like this was as big of a spot. Sure, prime time is bigger because it's literally everyone, but this is a 1 o'clock window. It's a division rival coming into your building. Weather held up. There was questions about the weather earlier in the week as well. I felt terrible after the end of that game. I still feel terrible as I'm talking about it now. And it's deflating. It's deflating. This offense, it's literally 5 games ago on pace for record setting this and that. Jaden's efficiency was through the roof. I think you're seeing a combination of a regression to the mean with the quarterback play. I think he's playing like a rookie, and that's okay. I think you're seeing it's going to be spurts. Nobody comes in and is just on 100% of the time. You mentioned the offensive line, and Stevie's been saying it for weeks, right? You see a little bit of regression to the mean there.
Mm-hmm.
Defensively, they've been way better than they're supposed to be. You see a regression to the mean there. This is maybe where they're supposed to be. Like they're supposed to be a 7-5 or maybe even a 6-6 if you take away the Bears Hail Mary, right? They're a 500 team. That kind of feels like where they belong.
Which is fine. If you're a 500 team, it's fine. But LP's been saying this since like the Panthers game, and he was voicing his concern. He's like, I think we're peaking too soon. And all of us were like, we were just riding the high. We're like, no, this is great. We're coming along, and this is an amazing rebuild. LP was right. We peaked too soon. The late bye week is killing us. And it's just, listen, like, I don't want to say I'm out on Cliff. I don't want to say it. It pains me if I have to say that. But we will be very delusional if we don't look at his track record, and we don't see a very, very common theme.
It's black and white, bro.
I know, but like, I don't
half swoon is very real.
I don't want to be out on Cliff.
Did that offense against a poo-poo Cowboys team look anything like the Bengals game earlier in the season?
No. And it's just
or even just
that's my biggest problem, right? That offense looked like week 1, week 2, where the playbook was kind of shut, and we were seeing what Jaden Daniels had.
So many second down drop runs. Why?
This is what I think is happening. Week 1, week 2, Cliff has his playbook, but he doesn't know what Jaden Daniels is capable of. So it's a very vanilla, basic, low intelligent playbook, whatever. And then the Bengals game comes along. Everything is changed around. It's an offense that we didn't really see week 1, week 2. Offense is now exploding, right? And you go Bengals, and you go Panthers, and you go Ravens, and you go whoever, and the offense is clicking. And then Jaden Daniels gets hurt. So then Cliff goes back to the basic. Well, let's lock it up a little bit and see where Jaden Daniels is at before we open it back up. And through 3.5 quarters, that's how Cliff was calling his offense. We need to see what Jaden Daniels can do. Let's close down this playbook a little bit. Until the oh shit moment happens, and this is what I was trying to say earlier. Until that oh shit moment happens, and then Cliff opened the playbook back up. We were looking at different receivers. We were throwing the ball downfield. Jaden Daniels was back to being the Jaden Daniels that we thought he could be or was. But we just waited for 3.5 quarters to do it. And that's on Cliff, 100%. If Jaden Daniels is healthy, and if Dan Quinn and Jaden Daniels and everybody's saying he's healthy, he doesn't have the heat pack on, he's running. We lied to everybody against the Steelers and the Eagles, but now he's good. Then just open the playbook back up. But Cliff didn't do it right away, and it bit us in the ass. And that's what I think happened.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm fully buying that too. But I mean, he took advantage of a soft zone. Like they were in a super prevent. Like that was their most impressive drive, and it happened to be one play to Terry on the right side of the field. right? Like,
Yeah, but it's just,
they never looked good.
I'm telling you, I am giving myself this narrative because I
Yeah,
don't want to be out on cliff yet.
I get it.
I don't want to be.
You're trying to self-soothe here. I was doing the same with the 17 point, like to lose 3 games by 17 points, like, okay. And one of them against the Eagles, who just are clobbering people left and right now. Okay. And the Steelers, like two very, I mean, I want to talk about them specifically, but like this question came in and I really like it. We touched on it last week too. You know, the Rams right now have I believe they still have a losing record, if I'm not mistaken. I think they're 5-6.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to pick one of these teams to make the playoffs, right, the Commanders or the Rams, like consider the division, consider who they got left on the schedule, and consider how they're playing. Like, which one are you more confident saying, hey, like they can get there?
Rams.
Yeah. See,
we went from one game up.
The actual painful question.
We went from one game up on the Eagles
to 3 games back
to last seed in the NFC playoff race.
Right.
It's awful.
Yeah.
But it's, I mean.
Meanwhile, the Rams are getting healthy and finding their mojo, and but they got steamrolled too. I mean,
they got a tough division. Yeah. They got steamrolled worse than we did from the Eagles.
Yeah. I mean, looking a little bit, maybe around the league a little bit more, just let's keep it on the NFC here for a second. Like, bigger surprise, given the last couple of weeks, the Bears, the Vikings, 49ers, or the Giants. You got a team that's coming back to life, a team that's, I mean, the Vikings are so impressive right now. You got the 49ers falling apart, or the Giants making just the most ridiculous personnel moves. I mean, what surprised you the most, I guess, over in the NFC over the last week?
I'm gonna say it's the Giants. Because I don't believe that there was not collusion between the Giants and the Eagles.
Oh,
I refuse to believe a franchise can be that stupid to have Hard Knocks in to Mara saying don't give Saquon away, especially to the Eagles, have it caught on film, broadcast to the world, and they still do it, all for the guy that they gave all the money to just to release that guy. It makes
I can't think of another what starting quarterback gets cut, released by his team.
He asked for a release.
Oh, I know, because they had him out there playing scout safety.
He asked to do that too. To Daniel Jones' credit, he was like the ultimate teammate, like did everything classy all the way. And then he was just like, listen, I want out. And they're like, okay, yeah, we don't want you here anyway. So yeah.
But it's nuts. It's nuts, FP. I mean, this is
it's
insane.
Nuts when you see Saquon Barkley.
He officially clears waiver tonight at midnight, right?
It's insane when you see Saquon Barkley accounted for 300 yards from line of scrimmage, and the Giants offense in totality had 250 yards against the Bucs.
Yes.
It is insane that the reason you did not keep Saquon Barkley was because you paid Daniel Jones, and you're like, we're not going to pay this guy just to have the ball handed off to him from the quarterback.
Yep.
And then to just, I mean, thank God we're not the Giants. Like, there's your silver lining. That's it. Thank God we're not the Giants.
Although I'll tell you what, I need Jameis Winston mic'd up 24/7. If there was a channel streaming Jameis Winston like sound bites all day long.
If there's ever a shitty standalone game,
yes.
If there's ever a shitty Thursday night, Black Friday,
I need an alternate broadcast.
The Browns in just for him.
I need an alternate broadcast for every football game. It's just Jameis Winston.
I hope he becomes like
the
third Manning brother for the Manning cast.
For the game and after the game on Thursday was unbelievable.
What was it? The chariots are ready, but
yes, he's talking like, I'm just so blessed, and God is. I mean, it was great. I mean, you can tell that's who he is. But the big,
he's gonna buy a dub off Amazon Prime.
Oh my God, that guy he's something else.
I wasn't gonna watch the AFC North all 4 team Hard Knocks, but now with Jameis, I have to.
Yeah, you can't. He's appointment television.
Yeah, he's must watch.
Crazy. As far as, and I mean, yeah, I'm with you on the Giants being crazy. Danny Cutlets, I mean, he's not a real quarterback.
But there's the other thing, right? You have Drew Lock. only reason you got
Of
Julak.
course.
The only reason you got Julak was like, hey, you're going to be QB2. Our QB1 is Daniel Jones, which realistically means you're going to be playing soon. So Julak's like, yeah, I'll come to New York. That sounds like my best opportunity to play. And he still doesn't get it.
It doesn't. And it doesn't make sense to me. It's like Dable needs an extra week to coach him up. It's a bad situation. And a lot of people were opining that there is an opportunity now for DJ to clear waivers, get picked up by the Cowboys, and play against the Giants on Thanksgiving. Right?
It's not going to happen because we made Cooper Rush look so good.
Yeah, if you're the Cowboys, you don't. Yeah, Cooper Rush is fine, right? But I'll tell you, I don't know how much of that Bears Vikings game the Bears Vikings game yesterday.
I saw the crazy end.
Caleb played well. He just
reminded people why he went 1 overall.
Yes, like he had a little bit of his rookie slump, a couple weeks there of it was just very inconsistent, didn't look very good. They didn't have a particularly good game yesterday, but it was a complete game, and they had the Vikings on the rope. I mean, that the Vikings are a good team, right? I mean, if you're DJ and you have your choice of team to go to the Vikings. Go there, because literally anybody throws for 4,000 yards in that offense. They have they are just good, and their best receiver, their best offensive weapon, did nothing yesterday. Was on the field and did nothing. Ran decoy routes, basically got cardio in. I think is the phrase.
Terry put it. Yeah,
Jefferson did nothing.
That works if the rest of the team is solid, right? If
that defense is solid.
If you put the lens on us, if Terry's doing nothing, you would hope that the rest of the team is doing so much he doesn't have to do anything. That's just never the case here. But the Vikings when they had Kirk were a solid team always, right? They were weaker on defense, but they were a solid team, right? And when they went and they had Dalvin Cook in his prime, they were a solid team. And Justin Jefferson. The difference is it was a solid team that lost the quarterback, and it's literally everything we thought would happen when Ron started, right? Build the roster up, plug and play the one guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're doing. It's just magically
Fitzpatrick coming in here.
Exactly. But that's what they're doing. It's
very impressive. It really is what the Vikings are doing. I mean, and you look at them, and even the Packers. Honestly, I'm not big on the Packers. I'm not big on Jordan Love, but that record. They're 8-3 if I'm not mistaken, right? I mean, they're
coaches, baby.
Yeah, well, all of those guys were in our building. All of them. Like, you want to talk about the curse? The winningest coaches in the league right now are all former Redskins guys. All of them. Yeah. All part of Club J.
Well, not Kyle.
Kyle's not part of it. I think Kyle was here too.
Current record.
Yeah, our boy 20 he's pretty in his feelings these days about the 49ers. I mean, McCaffrey, he's fresh because he hasn't played all season. A very weird fumble from him yesterday. Debo was basically, when you don't have your starting quarterback, things are just gonna look different.
Yeah,
49ers are in trouble.
We talked about it last week. I think they're just depleted. I think they made it to the mountaintop too many times and failed, and now they're just phoning it in. I don't think they have a fight. They don't think they have fight left in them.
Yeah, the defense, from I hate talking fantasy, but that is a rosterable defense basically in every format, and they were the number one drop across all fantasy formats.
Yeah,
on Yahoo and ESPN, right? They've got no fight in them.
You want to talk fantasy? Your boy had to pick up a QB this week. I went Bo Nix.
Stream. Hey, that's my guy. Sean Payton and those big boobies running all over the field yesterday.
I don't know. You spotted it before anybody. But yeah, he did great for him. Mind you, it's the Raiders, but he has
they were losing.
Intangibles they need.
It's well documented here. I watch a fair amount of Broncos football. They were losing and didn't look particularly good for a good portion of that game. And then he flipped a switch and Peyton started calling some more aggressive downfield, routes. Cortland Sutton, by the way, maybe the best receiver that nobody gives any credit to.
He's fine. He's like another Terry. He finally has somebody to throw him the ball.
Yeah, he's so consistent.
Higher ceiling, yeah.
So consistent.
I will say, from the little bit that I watched of the Denver game, the narrative behind Bo Nix very similar to what we were hearing from Jaden Daniels during the hot streak earlier. Was he's had 60 starts in college and he practices all the time and he takes all these reps and his dad was a coach and like all these very similar things. And it's like, man, just the narrative is always going to be the narrative. It comes down to the wins on the field. That's all it is. But it's just like, yeah, it's going to be an interesting.
Denver has quietly put together a nice little season for themselves. Okay, they're playing, they're above average basically in every facet of the game. They just are.
They're a little weak in running back, but it's a solid.
Okay. Yeah. That's okay. Peyton. I mean, he's a good coach, right? I mean, a lot of people were down on him with Russell Wilson last year in particular, right? I mean, but it looks like it was more of a Russ problem than it was an anybody else problem.
It was an injured Russ, and just not a meshing of personalities.
Speaking of him, though, I mean, the Steelers dropped one gorgeous game, by the way, Thursday night. I saw you late Thursday night. I was did a late little food drop off for you. And you told me I wasn't planning on watching that game, and then you got in my ear, and you're like, "Well, if you want to hear Jameis talk, and you want to see some beautiful television,
visually beautiful."
It was wild to see the field go from perfect and cold to snowy and a disaster, like in the span of 2 quarters, basically. But the Steelers obviously. I mean, I don't know if we're considering them the 5th best. The question that came in: Lions, Eagles, Bills, Chiefs are your top 4 in some capacity. Who you got in that 5 spot, or maybe 5 and 6? Like the Steelers, I think had they won, probably are in this conversation. I think the 5th. It's got to be either the Vikings or maybe the Packers. Maybe I'm gonna go first here. I'm gonna say it's the Chargers, pending the outcome of tonight's game. If they win. Whoever wins tonight's game, I think gets a nod, but the Chargers are sneaky good and playing really good defense and have an easy schedule the rest of the way.
My hot take on this question is I think I want to drop the Chiefs out of the top 5, regardless of the record. They almost lost to the Panthers.
The Panthers looked like a real football team yesterday.
The Chiefs are not what their record indicates, and I do not think they should be at the top of the ranking.
All right, well then give me 2. I mean, who would you put the Vikings in over the Chiefs right now? Vikings are what, in 9-2?
I think I'm going Vikings and Chargers. I might even put the Ravens. Like I might drop the Chiefs below the Ravens and the Packers. Like if we're going top ranked,
they have won an incredible amount of games by. I'm not gonna say it's luck because it's not luck, but. It's this. It feels like the same highlight package.
It's that Taylor Swift devil juju.
It's the same highlight package. Like they're down late in the 4th. Mahomes gets like an upfield run on the sideline. Looks like he's going out of bounds, but then turns it upfield. And they managed to win these games. I mean, you got to give them credit. I mean, Andy Reid knows.
Yeah, I mean, very, very well coached team.
Kareem Hunt coming back to them has given them a piece that they haven't had in their
D-Hop resurgence.
I mean, he could still. Yeah, Hopkins is a perfect example of a guy who can. You may not have that speed anymore, but he can run. He can create a little bit of space, and he'll catch anything you throw in his vicinity. Right? I mean, it's very similar to what OBJ is doing down in Miami. The Dolphins. I mean, their record
becoming a hot team.
Their record stinks, but I'm looking forward to watching them at the Packers on Thursday night. It actually maybe
that went from a terrible 3-game stretch for Thanksgiving to at least one of them will be good. But now even Lions Bears, it'll be entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, looking at these top 3 teams, leave the Chiefs aside here for a second. Lions, Eagles, Bills.
You got to drop the Bills out of the conversation. If it's Lions, Eagles right now.
Yeah,
Bills are just going to sit by themselves in the AFC. And they're lucky they're in the AFC. We'll just put it that way.
It's amazing how quickly things have changed, right? It was an AFC dominated, top 2, 3, 4 teams. When you go back a couple of years, it's been consistently. It's been the Ravens. It's been the Chiefs. It's been, Bills, right? I mean, but the Lions are to me the clear cut best team in the league. They lost their best defensive player, and they are just, boat racing teams. It's impressive.
It's hard for me to say it, but that Eagles team,
they can hang with them for sure. But would you pick
Mind you, everything that happened
on a neutral field? Which one of those two teams would
everything you saw yesterday was without their Heisman-winning Pro Bowl wide receiver 2 in Devontae Smith.
Yes.
That's insane.
Yeah, I don't trust Jalen though. I mean,
I agree. Jalen, but is Jalen more? Is he more streaky than Goff? No. Goff had 5 interceptions 2 weeks ago.
I think Jalen has to do more for his team to win than Goff. Goff has the luxury of 2 really good. I mean, really good.
I will put it this way. I will end the debate right here. Dan Campbell over Sirianni. I'm giving it to the Lions.
Sirianni for me is I mean, he's actually what's holding the he's their limiting factor.
Exactly.
He stinks. You know, but you look at these.
Most punchable face in the NFL.
I mean, you love that phrase. You love that phrase.
Disgusting.
You know, yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. We do get Lions Bears. I mean, could the Bears pull an upset here?
No.
And the Bears,
they could keep it exciting. They're not going to win.
I mean, I think it'll be a good game.
It'll come down to coaching. They're not going to win.
Yeah, I mean, there is something fun about a Lions blowout because, like, even when you get 2 regular teams, just 2 rando teams in, and it's 40-7, the game gets really boring. With the Lions,
they're never boring.
They're trying to score 60. At every point, at every turn.
Did you see the touchdown celebration where he hit the AI crossover and then he walks over
Tyronn Lue?
Yeah, did you see that? It was fantastic.
I saw it. And there's actually keeping it on basketball for a second. There's a guy on the Seahawks named Kobe Bryant.
Yes, every time they come up, his name.
I was watching. I think I'm the only person left in America that watches NFL primetime with Boomer and Booger. I think I'm literally the last person. But
yeah.
Shout out here. If you've got Hulu, that means on Mondays and Tuesdays, you can watch it too. So if you miss Boomer and all his bumbling, jumbling, whatever, and all his, anecdotes, he's there. But yeah, they kept calling out Kobe Bryant. I was like, what the hell is happening? And then, yeah, sure enough, Kobe Bryant scored a touchdown yesterday. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, last question on the docket here. I mean, a couple things. Local sports curse, right? For those that don't buy into it. Local sports personality, Cakesy, all right? Cakes on the Junks. He cursed Alex Ovechkin by saying he never gets injured. He's injured. And then he goes out there and says, bet the house on the Skins beating the Cowboys. There was, to quote him, no physical way that they can lose this game. So, the curse is alive and well. I don't know if you're interested, look up Sports Junkies and listen to today's show because they ripped him for 4 hours straight over this. But your boy Alex Ovechkin, I mean, looking like a month minimum at this point. It's can we? Here's the big takeaway, right? I think it's a broken leg, right?
Yeah,
or fractured fibula. It's a serious injury.
Not that serious.
He was skating on it 5 minutes later.
Yeah, it's not that serious.
During the game. He was like, yeah, maybe I can just go.
Hockey players are a different breed. It's not that serious. He was at the Wizards game 2 games ago.
Yeah.
Walking around courtside, no crutches, no cast, nothing.
I mean, Russian machine don't break. Yeah, I mean, but it's just wild that he got injured. He went to the locker room. He came back out with skates and was like, okay, let me give it a go.
Yeah, hockey's built different, but he'll be fine and easy to do silver lining for the Caps, right? They have to figure out the correct rotation without Ovi in there, which takes about 3 games. So hopefully we see it soon. But then as old as Ovi is, you kind of might not hate this forced mid-season, not mid-season, middle of the second quarter of the season forced break so that he can last deeper into the season because hopefully this team can go deep in the playoffs. So it sucks for the record, but for the team, I think he's okay.
Yeah, I think, and Carbs is a really good coach. Like he's going to figure it out.
They'll figure out the correct line to replace Ovi quickly.
All right, FP, who you got on Sunday? The Titans come to Washington to face the Commanders, who are reeling. The Titans played a pretty good game. I got to be like, Will Levis is terrible. I mean, he literally he's averaging like 1.2 pick sixes a week at this point. I mean, he's bad. But I would have said the same thing about the Cowboys and their quarterback coming in. I don't know here. Like,
if you're beating the Texans, it has to be because your defense kept you in that game.
Their defense is a top.
I was afraid of, and I wish LP had normal living human people hours so he could join a podcast so I could tell him to his face, I've been scared about the Titans and that defense for like 4 weeks now. That is a good defense. And I don't know if this offense will figure it out. I don't know if Cliff or Jaden or whoever will shake off whatever's holding them back, but that defense is scary good. And they played some good teams, and that defense has held up really well.
I had a friend ask if I wanted to go to this game a couple weeks ago, and I was like, yeah, it's guaranteed win. And now I'm like, get me out of this because I don't.
I never thought of it as a guaranteed win.
Well, but now it could be a loser. Like now it's, I don't know. Like, I mean, who are you picking?
I want to pick the Commanders.
Come on, do it. Just do it.
I'm going to trust in the coaching staff. All the bullshit that they saw on Sunday will be addressed. So I'm going Commanders, but I'm going ugly game. I'm going like 2017.
I think you're very bullish. I think they'll be. I think they may get to 14 or 17 at the most. I'll take them to win too, but like 17-16 or 17-13 or something super ugly as well.
17-14 is very realistic, actually. 17-10.
I mean, the Titans don't have more than 3 scores, right? In some combination, they could end up with 9 points. They could end up with 21, but the answer is probably somewhere in the middle. They're good for some combination of 3 scores.
The narrative is going to be Tony Pollard is going to look amazing against us for some reason, and then all the Dallas fans are going to cry that they let Tony Pollard go.
Well, I mean, are we going to get Lattimore this week?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, like, there's not a lot of season left. Like, if you drop this one, like you're in serious trouble.
Like you need him to keep you in playoff contention now. So,
yeah, like I mean, this is it. Like, I hate to say it comes down to this, but like you got one more against Dallas in Dallas. You've got one more against the Eagles in DC. Those at this point, you gotta consider them losses just based on how both of like you're going to Dallas and you've got the Eagles who look.
The Saints could be a very easy trap game, and the Falcons could scorch you. Or
you have to have this game to get to like you have to have this one, right? Like I don't think you make the playoffs in the NFC with 9 wins.
You got to get to 10. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So which 3 are you picking? Like, I don't care. Like I don't care how super fan you are. The Titans are one of those 3.
It has to be Titans, Saints, Cowboys. Realistically,
at this point you can lose the Eagles because it doesn't. You're not catching them.
You're not catching them, and the Falcons are. That's a toss up, but
depending on what their seeding, it could factor in as well. But any combination you go with, the Titans have to be a win. Like
yes.
So when I say it's a must win, it's legitimately a must win because you don't have 3 other wins on the calendar anymore. You just don't.
Yeah,
you have to have this, and that's a lot of pressure for a team.
Your easiest win was supposed to be the Cowboys in DC, and it did not happen that way.
No, not even close. Not even close. I mean, the scoreboard will say one thing, but the eyes say something else, man. That was just a bad game, and now I'm terrified that Sunday goes negative game script early. They get a little lucky, and then suddenly you're playing catch up. Just bad. Just bad. Just bad. Yeah. What are you watching these days?
I caught up on Lioness.
Okay. What do you think so far, season 2?
Season 2, I think, is better than season 1.
I would agree with you. I would agree with you. No spoilers, though. I'm an episode or 2 behind you, I think.
And then I haven't done Yellowstone yet, but I did start Landman. I kind of like
Tommy Lee Jones, pretty good.
Billy Bob Thornton.
Hey. What did I say?
Tommy Lee Jones.
Like
old white guy.
Yeah, I'm sorry. They're interchangeable.
No, old white guy.
Whichever old white guy's in it is good.
But Billy Bob has him a roster in real life.
Who is it? It's not Billy Bob. You're right.
Billy Bob Thornton.
What did I say?
Tommy Lee Jones. You're thinking Men in Black.
Oh, yeah.
The guy that used to date Angelina Jolie.
I got it. Wait. Tommy Lee Jones used to date Angelina Jolie?
No, Billy Bob did.
No, it's like his daughter or something.
No.
What?
Billy Bob and Angelina dated. And he dated hot Angelina, like Gone in 60 Seconds.
Who is she the daughter of? She's the daughter of someone famous.
Yes.
She's the daughter of Tommy Lee?
No, Tommy Lee is nowhere in
Hold on, I gotta look it up.
She's the daughter of the other old guy.
Do you know? John Voight.
John Voight.
Yeah, another old white guy.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay, you were close. You were closer than I.
But Billy Bob is a solid he's a solid character in Landman. He plays well.
I mean, the show is a little slow to start. But yeah, I'll give it a couple episodes. We'll see where it goes.
But Yellowstone started a little slow too. You were just fascinated with Kevin Costner's voice and seeing Montana. So you didn't realize how slow the show was.
The spin-off of Yellowstone I found to be, or the prequel I found
the
to
Harrison Ford one. There's like 1873.
Yes, that one.
That was Harrison Ford.
That one very good. Yellowstone.
There was another one that sucked. There's like 2 spin-offs from Yellowstone.
1874, 1924. 1874.
No idea.
Whichever one had Harrison Ford in it was good. And
that's what I heard.
I crushed those.
I didn't
I think Lioness is the best thing on TV right now.
I wanna give first of all, we need to talk about just Paramount's string of shows. They're putting out some bangers.
They're pulling out an HBO. Yeah.
I want to give Tulsa King a shot.
Stallone.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe give me a little preview.
I'll give you a shot on that one. And then there's the other one.
There's a bunch. Every time I log in there to like watch soccer or something, there's new shows that are popping up.
Kingstown or something.
Mayor of
Killsville or something.
That's with Jeremy Renner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard that one was like gruesome.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm in a gruesome mood. I don't know. I think I'm aged out of gore.
I don't think it's gore. I think it's just like amazing plot, but you're like, ugh.
There was a show. It was a chick flick. I think you can find it on Hulu at this point. It was called Unreal. Did you ever watch Unreal?
No, what was that?
It was like a mockumentary style show where they were like, it was like behind the scenes of like a bachelorette type show. And it was super dark. That was probably the last really dark show that I watched. Mm-hmm. And recently came up in conversation. I was like, oh, maybe I'll revisit. I was like, no, it really messed me up actually. So if you want
I think they say it's on Netflix now.
Unreal?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got Constance Zimmer, who played she played Dana Gordon in Entourage. Okay. Yeah. Good cast.
The teaser trailer for Suits LA came out. Did you see it?
No.
Teaser trailer came out, and apparently
any characters we will recognize?
Apparently also Harvey Specter on his Instagram, I forgot his name in real life.
Gabriel Macht.
Yeah, Macht. He posted that like him putting on the Harvey Specter like suit, saying like
he needs to play Batman. Like
he needs to play Batman, but I think he's gonna reprise.
He would only be a good Batman to the 50 of us that watched Suits. Like because you need.
But he needs to be sitcom Batman, not movie Batman. Like TV show Batman.
Oh, like bring back the TV show.
Yeah,
and make him
like Batman. whatever Colin Farrell did with Penguin. Make him the Batman for that.
Your boy 20's in love with that show. Okay, I don't know if I don't know if I have.
Have you watched it? I haven't watched it.
It's too dark. I think I'm out on dark shows too. Anytime I have to adjust the brightness.
You're talking about dark as in like brightness.
Dark. Like no, I don't want to do this. Like I want to turn it on and be entertained. I don't want to adjust my TV settings to watch Penguin.
I will say a cool feature is my Sony TV. First of all, Sony TVs are the best, but there's now a software update where it has Netflix calibrated as a display option. So when you put on a Netflix show, if the creators of that show or whatever calibrate the camera view, the TV will match it how they want you to watch the show. It'll auto calibrate. Pretty cool feature.
So you're watching it's like a director's cut. You're watching it the way that they want you to watch it.
Yes.
Not the way you have your TV set up.
Correct.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's an interesting feature. I would look kind of like if other people did that.
Well, yeah. Okay. But I mean, what if your TV sucks though?
I don't think it's even.
Like, what if your TV can't get dark enough to show the darks?
I don't think it's gonna get pushed that software update if you have a crappy TV.
Oh, okay. So you're saying it's a Sony proprietary thing?
It might be like a Sony proprietary thing, or
maybe like a Dolby Vision thing. Because my TV sometimes flickers on and off with the Dolby Vision.
But it's
Okay.
it's a cool feature.
Okay. You see the Ravens just score a bomb touchdown with a pass interference call?
None of this season makes sense.
They don't play any defense though. It's weird that a Ravens team.
Yeah, they have a terrible secondary.
Yeah,
great run D, terrible secondary. That's why like the AFC, the Bills are kind of chilling.
Well, if Amare is healthy, I mean that team.
Who's really
can't run the ball. So
who's really pushing the Bills around?
I think
they had the prove it game against the Chiefs.
Yeah, I think anybody that has to go into Buffalo is gonna likely lose.
Right? And you say they have no running game, but that's because you're not thinking of Josh Allen as the running back. It's similar to what the Ravens were with Lamar before Derrick Henry.
Yes. But that's why I think I would give the advantage to the Ravens in Henry. Like I'm not going to bet against any cold game, any game.
Yeah, but Lamar disappears in a cold game.
But Derrick Henry shines. I mean, Derrick Henry. I mean, he does have he's been fumbling a little bit more. Okay, so maybe there's something there. But I mean, I'm watching in real time right now. I mean, you can't scheme for both of them. Either you're putting an extra body in to stop the run, or you're dropping a body back, in which case he might throw, or he's just going to outrun everybody to the corners. So they're an interesting team to.
Does Saquon Barkley enter the MVP discussion?
100%. The worst thing about Saquon, or not worst thing, because he's appointment television. Like he is legitimately, you have to watch. He finger rolled his history ball, his historic 300-yard game ball. He finger rolled it to some rando Rams fan in the dream seats.
Yeah.
And then realized it and tried to get it back. Right. And he's going to end up stroking, I'm sure, a huge check to get that ball back. I'm sure with the excitement, he was over.
Yeah, you don't think about it.
But, I mean, how do you bet against him? Like
the Saquon versus Derrick Henry match is really interesting because Derrick Henry looked like he was going to. I don't think we're getting that game till I think that's
NFC East is playing the.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's coming up soon. Then
don't we see them? Don't they get them? You got a browser in front of you?
It's actually this coming week, December 1st.
That's a good one.
That'll be really interesting.
What time is that one?
It's a 4:25 game.
Oh, I got to get out of the Commanders game. I have to get out of it.
The Commanders a 4:00 game? Oh, you mean going?
No, I don't want to go. I don't want to go see them lose. I'd rather pay the money and not go.
Yeah, don't go.
I can't. I can't. I cannot. I don't know what I was thinking. See, this is what happens. You throw a Hail Mary, you get excited. You want to go to the game? Yeah, I'll go to the game. Get us tickets, whatever. And now 3 games later, I'm like, I don't want to go.
We had a friend Sunday morning asking if I was going to go to the game. I'm pretty sure he asked you too, and I was like, no, no way,
no. But the Titans were the one game you're just like, we can get this one. We can get this
The only time I will watch the Redskins is if they are at a stadium I want to see around the country. If they go to Lambeau, I will go watch them.
I'm ready to adopt this as well. I think this could be my new position as well.
If we play the AFC East, if we play the AFC East next year, I want to do a Bills winter disgustingly cold game.
I won't go to that one with you. I'll go to Miami.
I'll do Miami.
Yeah, I'll go to Miami. I'm not going to Buffalo.
Book it.
Me and I want to sit next to. If we do Buffalo, I want to sit next to Fitzpatrick with my shirt off.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like, if you fully embrace Buffalo,
you want to go
dive on a table
for one game.
I'll do it.
Okay. Okay. Thanks for making time, FP. Any final plugs from you, sir?
None here. Down month for DC sports, but it'll come back up.
Well said, sir. For FP, my name is Joe. The show is DTC Defeating the Curse. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts. You can find us on social media as well. Just search DTC or Defeating the Curse. Until next week, we are done. It's a sad hail to the Redskins, but a hail to the Redskins nonetheless. We hopefully we're here next week after a thankful Thanksgiving holiday with a win over the Titans, but we shall see. Till then, we are out.